Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now. Folks, buckle up because what we're seeing unfold in the NFC East right now is nothing short of extraordinary. Rumors are swirling, and insiders like Adam Schefter are dropping hints about a potential blockbuster trade that could reshape the division as we know it. And no, we're not talking about some minor move. This could be a game changer, especially for the Washington Commanders. It's about Saquon Barkley, the Giants' star running back, potentially heading to Washington in a trade that could significantly bolster the team's offensive attack. If you've been watching the Commanders this season, you know how much they've struggled with their running game. Injuries, inconsistent performances, and depth issues have hampered their ground attack, which is crucial in today's NFL to control the clock, set up play action, and keep defenses honest. What makes this rumor even more interesting is the context behind it. The Eagles, currently sitting at a solid 6-2 record, are facing a cap squeeze after extensions, and they're looking at ways to bolster their roster without breaking the bank. According to Schefter, the Eagles are considering trading Saquon Barkley, who's been a dominant force when healthy, in exchange for a conditional first-round pick in 2026 from the Commanders. Yes, you heard that right. Washington could be acquiring a player who has already amassed over 500 rushing yards, 45 touchdowns, and over 300 receiving yards in his career. This isn't just about adding a talented running back. It's about injecting a burst of youth, explosiveness, and versatility into the Commanders' backfield. Now, let's talk about Barkley's profile for a moment. We're talking about a player who, as of September 15, 2025, has accumulated 680 rushing yards in just 8 games this season, averaging a robust 5.3 yards per carry. He's coming off an impressive performance against the Giants in Week 4, rushing for 178 yards, and his PFF grade is hovering around 91, placing him among the top 3 running backs in the league. His ability to break away from defenders is elite, with a breakaway rate of 25%. Despite past injuries, like his ankle issues in 2024, Barkley has shown resilience and explosiveness that make him a nightmare for defenses. His vision is exceptional, allowing him to find gaps quickly, and his YAC per rush of 3-4 yards means he's not just hitting the hole but turning those runs into big gains. Plus, his threat as a receiver out of the backfield is top tier, surpassing league averages and adding an extra dimension to any offense he joins. Why would the Eagles trade him? Well, Schefter reports that Philadelphia has about $10 million in cap space over the next 2 seasons, but after recent trades, especially the Reddick deal, they're focusing on strengthening their defensive line. Their run game has been potent, averaging around 130 yards per game, but trading Barkley could free up cap space and allow them to focus on bolstering their secondary and pass rush. It's a strategic move. Sometimes teams have to sacrifice a star to reconfigure their roster and address other needs. But for the Commanders, this isn't just about acquiring a star. It's about transforming their entire offensive identity. Imagine Saquon Barkley joining Robinson Jr., who's been solid but inconsistent at times. Barkley's addition would create a thunder and lightning duo with Robinson Jr., bringing his own skill set to complement Barkley's explosiveness. This tandem could be a nightmare for defenses, especially considering Barkley's ability to gain yards after contact. His YAC average of 20 yards per contact is comparable to some of the league's best, like Derrick Henry back in the Ravens' 2024 season. If this trade happens, the Commanders' run game could see a huge leap forward, possibly adding over 500 yards in total offense from the ground alone. What's truly exciting is how Barkley's presence could impact the team's efficiency. His addition would likely boost EPA per rush from around +0.7 to an impressive +0.24, making their rushing attack not just stronger but more explosive and consistent. It would also help take pressure off quarterback Sam Howell, giving him a more balanced attack to work with. Plus, with a more reliable ground game, the Commanders could improve their third down conversion rate, which has been hovering around 37%. A more balanced offense means more sustained drives, less pressure on the defense, and a better chance to control the game tempo. And let's not forget about the defensive side of the ball. With a more balanced and efficient offense, the defense benefits from longer time of possession by about 4 extra minutes per game. That's huge because it means your defense is fresher and can play more aggressively, and it also reduces the number of points allowed. If the Commanders can cut their points allowed from 24 to around 20 per game, that's a massive step forward, especially considering their recent struggles with injuries along the defensive line. A stronger ground game keeps the defense off the field longer, helping them recover and play with more energy. Now, shifting gears to the bigger picture, odds of a Super Bowl run. Currently, the Commanders are considered outsiders, with betting odds around +5-0 to win it all. But if they acquire Barkley, those odds could shift dramatically, perhaps to around +2-800. That's a significant jump, similar to what we saw with Christian McCaffrey's impact on the 49ers in 2023, boosting their run game win percentage by 17%. Barkley as an X-factor against divisional rivals like the Giants, who notoriously struggle against him, allowing 4.6 yards per rush last season, could be the piece that pushes the Commanders into serious playoff contention. With Barkley, the team's chances of making the postseason could increase by around 14%, and it could turn the NFC East into a much more competitive division, with the Commanders suddenly looking like real contenders, especially if they add a few more pieces along the way. Looking at the division rivals, the Eagles are still a formidable team, but if Washington manages to get Barkley, they could leapfrog some of their competitors. The division title, which seemed a long shot earlier in the season, could become a real possibility. The rise of the Commanders with this move would also send a message to the entire league. They're not just building for the future, they're building to contend now. It's about establishing a new identity, one rooted in a powerful ground game, balanced attack, and a defense that can tighten up with the extra time of possession. Of course, all of this hinges on whether the trade actually happens, but the signs point toward a very real possibility. The Eagles' cap situation and their focus on defensive upgrades suggest they're open to moving Barkley, especially if they see a good return, like a first-round pick in 2026, which could be a lottery ticket for future success. For the Commanders, it's about seizing that opportunity, making a bold move that can define their season and perhaps their franchise's future. It's about taking a step closer to the Super Bowl, or at least elevating themselves into the top tier of NFC contenders. In conclusion, this potential trade isn't just about one player. It's about the ripple effect it could have across the entire NFC East and the league. The Commanders would be transforming their offense into a juggernaut, capable of competing with the best teams in the league. Barkley's addition could be the catalyst for a new era, one where the Commanders are no longer just a team trying to rebuild, but a team that's ready to compete at the highest level, aiming for those eternal victories, those Super Bowl rings that every player and fan dreams about. This is the kind of move that could define a franchise, energize a fan base, and shake up the NFL landscape for years to come. And remember, folks, I'll be here every step of the way, bringing you the latest updates, insights, and analysis so you can stay ahead of the curve. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential Barkley trade? Do you think it's the move that can finally push the Commanders into Super Bowl contention? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team itself. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more breaking news, and deep dives into everything happening around the Commanders. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep that Washington spirit alive and thriving.